Hey, welcome back to Star Gaming. I was just noticing that there's not that many up-to-date videos talking about the wonders. So I wanted to do a really quick rundown on the different options that you have. Um, like I mentioned before, this game has so many options, so many different things going on. Um, the last factor in the game is you. You know, what is your play style? You know, what are you going to focus on? So I can't say that there's like best um, wonders, but I would say there are definitely some better wonders depending on your play style. So whether you're offensive, you're defensive, or if you are economy based, there's definitely a little something for everybody. So let me go. I think this one is the oldest one right here. Trying to remember. I think it was this one. So let's go here. All right, so let's start with the info on the Acropolis. So the Acropolis is one of the options. Makes your defending army tougher, speeds up troop spawning and nearby defender producing buildings. Pretty good hit points since I have leveled up the hit points. Defender health plus 15% and minus 20% defender spawn time. So it's this is a defensive building. If you can see that circle range that you have, it increases their health, I believe, and then also speeds up their spawning, which is really nice to have. So that's one of your options. Then you have these ones. Let me see if I click the, okay, perfect. So if I click that, it opens up. The next one is the pyramids. The pyramids only has one boost. It grants boost to nearby farms. Um, and then it says plus 22% because I have a little extra boost that I've researched. Um, so these aren't bad. This would be more if you're economy driven. At the beginning of the game, getting food and getting gold are super important. You know, you basically won't be able to progress if you can't keep your economy going. So between food and gold at the beginning of the game, food is definitely much easier to get. If you're not doing a ton of looting and things like that, it's much easier to produce. So pyramids, could be a really good one for the first, 2 or 3 ages of the game. Once you unlock the being able to make wonders, or it's not the strongest, out of these 4 options. So let's go to the next one. The next one is Stonehenge. Grants bonus gold every time you collect from a caravan, which is nice. As you progress through the game, you're going to have more caravans, and then you're also going to be able to level them up a bunch so they can collect a bunch of gold for you. Increases the effectiveness of the road network when connected by roads to your town center. What does that mean? More money. So the bonus gold per caravan, right now I have it plus 22% because I have a couple of the boosts. And then the road network gives you plus 110% of what your roads produce because you collect from the caravans and you also collect from the roads. Almost like taxes from the roads versus the caravans, or the guys that kind of wander around the globe basically and then get you gold. So this is one that I've seen a lot of people in the beginning of the game will use because gold is so difficult to come by. Um, if you're defensive, very heavy defensive and very heavy offensive, um, you might not care about this one because there are different ways to get gold and different things you can learn in the library, university, and different things that will help you. But this game is basically geared towards building your empire and then trying to do as best you can in the wars or the multiplayer battles, and then you're basically going to make the majority of your goods that way. Passively, you will collect from your city and your surrounding areas there. Um, so once again, if you're economy based, this might actually be a little bit better than the other one that we just looked at. Also, the other one was let's go back just quickly. Where did I? Oh, actually, did I even talk about the other one? Yes, we talked about the pyramids. So this one grants a boost to nearby farms. not bad. Like I said, gold is harder to get. This one doesn't have to be nearby. This is your whole road network is going to be better, and your caravans are going to be better. So this one doesn't matter if you put anything nearby it, because it's just going to help you regardless. So I think percentage wise of bang for your buck, the Stonehenge is going to be more. It's going to be much better. Now the last one is the Hanging Gardens. This is the one that I used way at the beginning of the game. And we'll look at it real quick. So it says increases the resources gained from nearby fruit trees and gold mines. Increase the frequency that they can be gathered from. So once again, this one does have to be near some buildings to help you out. Now collection time minus 55%. They're green because I actually have additional boosts going on. Regeneration time is green as well because I have other boosts going on. But you'll notice that at the beginning of the game, you'll probably start with I think you start with one gold mine, and a little bit further in the game, you get a second one. And then later on, I believe in the library, you do an upgrade, and that's how you get a third one. And I think you get one later on. I don't remember. But then you have trees. The same thing with the fruit trees. They give you food, and with some upgrades in the library, you will be able to get another one. And then there's in the university later on in the game, you can also increase how much you get from them, and the collection time as well, and the regeneration time you can affect. So this one, to me, at the beginning of the game, where you're not quite sure how heavy you're going to be attacking, you're not quite sure how much you're going to be getting attacked, and how much you're going to lose, basically, when they come and try to loot you. It's a very, very safe bet, mainly because it does both. This one does food and gold. Yes, they have to be kind of adjacent, but it really wasn't that bad. It really was not that bad. I really, really enjoyed that one because it was very easy. You just made sure you put your trees and your gold mines, nearby, and you were able to collect both of those goods, as opposed to the other two, which you would get more of from your farms and from the caravans and stuff at the beginning of the game. But where I am in the game now, when you really level up the actually, you can't really level up the trees too much, and but you can. There are ways to maximize that. So I just liked it because I was really trying to build my economy. I was trying to get as many resources as I could. So that's a really good option. The Acropolis. Let's look at it one more time. It says make your defending army tougher, speed up troop spawning on nearby defender producing buildings. So this is one where if you do think you're going to be, attacking a lot more, and, you're going to be worried a little bit about your defense, making sure your defense is also, helping you out, is a really good one. Make your defending army tougher, which is great, and then speed up troop spawning at nearby defender producing buildings, which is really great. So you'll see the hit points on this one. They're very high because it is considered a defense building. Defender health. So this is the one that you would go if you were doing multiplayer and you're focusing on winning by fighting or defending your base, so you're not losing too much on the back end. A lot of people use the Acropolis, and it pairs up with other wonders later on really well as well. So that's something to look at there. I'm trying to remember which one is the next one. Let's take a look here. I might not be going in order on these, but that's fine. So the Taj Mahal is one of the other wonders in one of the other eras that you can pick. Increases loot stolen from attacks. Hire free mercenary once per day. Pretty good hit points. I think the artwork on this whole game is amazing, so I really like checking that out. So it says increased loot stolen. So I think it was 2%, and then I have a boost that's increasing that. So this has to do when you go out and battle. It'll give you an additional percentage. So right now I have it at 3%. So that doesn't sound like much. But when you get into global age and somewhere around there, you might be stealing like 200, I don't know, 100 to 300,000. Uh, sorry, and loot. So 3%, it's something. And now that they have what is it called? Domination loot bonuses as well for getting a certain amount of stars in a victory. It's compounding. So I don't think that existed 3 years ago, where you had an extra bonus for having like a really good victory. But I could be mistaken. And if there was, it wasn't that significant. So now you're getting that extra loot from a domination victory, but you're also getting additional 3% from this. So no, it's not that much. But if you're the kind of person that attacks multiple times a day, that 3% will actually go pretty far, or 2%, whatever it is you have. My main reason for getting this and why I use it is for the second thing that you get. You hire free mercenary once per day. Now, mercenaries are something that some people use a lot and other people don't. It's whatever you like. I like the mercenary a lot because they don't require food or gold to produce. They require goods. So if you do a lot of hunting of the rabbits, the stag, different things like that, you win small little events. You'll accumulate these things. I think if you send your boats out, you can get some of these goods. But it's awesome. You just need these goods, which are completely separate, so it's not going to deplete your bank account of gold and food, and you can recruit these guys. Now, one misconception that some people had before was because they're giving you a random mercenary unit once per day, they think that it's any that you've already unlocked, and that is incorrect. It is one of these. See these ones right here? It's one of the unlocked troops that are current at your current level. So if this is the level that I'm on, where these are the 5 people that I can get, it's going to be one of these 5 people. Much earlier in the game, you had like an elephant and a little javelin dude and some little bush people type thing. You're not going to get those people. You're only going to get one free unit of whatever is available right here, which is awesome. So can you imagine getting a free Flampanzer? That'd be huge. Or the Hessian cavalry is awesome. I mean, all of these guys are really good. I don't really use the Bedouin Raiders too much, but sometimes it's good if you want that kind of troop that goes after the goods, because maybe you don't use them, and I never use them. But if I had a mercenary unit, that comes in pretty clutch. You have everybody else doing what you normally fight, and then just send out these guys to get the goods. So this adds a whole other layer of strategy of which mercenary units am I going to use that are going to complement, what I have. Now, I'm not going to say that Taj Mahal is the best. It definitely improves on your offense, because you're going to get more loot when you attack and you win, and you're also going to get another unit in your mercenary. So it's going to help you. And the once a day thing is actually really good. Mercenaries are not one that you're like desperately trying to rebuild constantly. Like sometimes you don't use them. So once a day is more than enough. All right, now we're going to look at some of these other ones here. So we have the Temple of Tikal, which looks really cool. I think it's Mexican. All right, increases trade good capacity and refunds some of the resources stolen by opponents. So once again, I have a boost that's in green, so I think it's a trade good capacity +2. So trade goods are different than, so it's these ones right here. These are all trade goods, and you'll see all these ones underneath later on in the game when you unlock other things. So when you start the game, you only have the first 5 up here. So that's good. The trade goods that are below that first row are very hard to come by. You either have to fight specific nation when you're looking for battles, or you can win them in events, but they're much harder to get than the original 5 that you saw there. So increasing your trade good capacity is good. That means you don't have to upgrade your storage building for a little bit. But it also refunds resources stolen by opponents. So that one says 3% refunded. So this is another tricky one where it's economy based, but how often are you getting looted? Are you getting attacked constantly? If you have a very, good base, and you're very good at attacking and you're playing the game constantly, you might not get attacked that often if you let the peace treaties, run the whole time. So how much are you actually recovering? Now, just right off the top of my head, if you play as the Koreans, they refund some resources that are stolen. Let me just jump there real quick, just so I don't make a mistake on how much they refund. So refund loot after being attacked, 10%. 10% is pretty significant, especially if you're getting attacked a lot. So let's go back here, and if we do 10%, now it's 3, so it's 13%. So at one point, I was using the Koreans because I wasn't fighting that much, and I was getting destroyed all the time. It was really nice jumping back into the game after like a week and recover a lot of loot from a lot of battles. But that's if you're playing extremely passive. Is that going to benefit you? Sure, but if you become really active, you're not going to get attacked as much. So this 3% becomes weaker. The trade good capacity, I think, is good. I think they're both good for an economy, but overall, it's pretty weak. Yes, once you get later in the game, that 3%, seems much bigger. And I'm pretty sure that there are trainings that you can do either in, I think it's in the university. There are some places in the university that can increase the loot refunds. And I know for a fact that there are some that will increase your loot stolen, which would actually help you with that kind of economy type thing. So let's go to Versailles. So this one slows down nearby invading ground troops and provides a health bonus to your ground forces. So this is a very defensive building. It's only going to help you when people are attacking you. When you go to war, it doesn't do anything. But it provides a health bonus of 11% for anybody within that scope, and slows down the enemies plus 40%. Wow. So that's really good. I like that. I like that one a lot. But it is what it is. If you really worry about keeping your base safe and not getting run over all the time, this could be a good one that you'd want to position strategically, so you'd be able to get a lot of troops around you so it can help you. So not a bad one at all. Angkor Wat, when defending, heals nearby defenders. Really good. Once a day, you may collect bonus trade goods. So you get 7 bonus trade goods per day. I did not pay attention to that before. I didn't realize it was that high. That's really a lot of trade goods. That's really, really good. But it also heals nearby defenders. They're, passing by. And it'll heal at 1,300. And battle pulse is 2 seconds. So I believe between a healing to the next one is 2 seconds. There's 2-second increments. This is a really heavily used wonder because it heals your nearby defenders, and then you can also collect bonus trade goods. So between this one and this one, it's tricky because this one slows them down, and then increases the health of them, versus this one just heals, but you also get the bonus trade goods. I think the bonus trade goods send this one over the top for me. That this is amazing. And the healing is super powerful. I would say the healing is probably more effective than the troop health. But it slows the troops down, that's amazing. So if you had this and then you strategically put some traps around that same area and caltrops, different things like that, mines, anything you can think of, you can increase that 40% to almost like 85% and really, really slow down the defenses. So both of these are really good, really, really good. Just thinking about both of them, I might actually switch. I was just thinking that the Angkor Wat with the additional trade goods might actually equate to a free mercenary as well. So, oh yeah, that's tough. Those are really good options there. All right, don't want to make this video too long. Let's look at this one over here. So this one's a little bit later in the game. Very interesting one. So the Brandenburg Gate, this is once you get into the oil eras, which is what, like industrial? Might be a little bit after industrial, I'm not sure. So the Brandenburg Gate is used by a ton of people because the factory becomes such an important building. That's when you start getting the real heavy duty things. So I'm just gonna jump over here. My factory is not leveled up, but you can at least see what you have. This is where you can get machine gun, commando, heavy tanks. Eventually you're gonna get bazookas, which hit really hard. Armored cars, APCs, tactical helicopters, MRLs. Like these are the heavy duty ones. They all cost oil. So up until you get to that era, which might be industrial, you don't have oil. Oil doesn't exist. So once you get there, that's when that building becomes available to build. Oil is very expensive. I mean, not well. I can say it's expensive, but it's expensive to acquire. It takes a very long time to build up. These little oil wells, look how expensive it is to upgrade that. That's level 4 versus a farm, which is a level 12, and look how much that takes. It's like 5 times or 6 times more expensive. Actually, more than that because this is a level 12. But that's fine because you're going to be, still getting gold and still getting food. So yeah, so it is going to take forever. Now, this is what it does. Provides the blitzkrieg power in combat once a day, disabling defender producing buildings, increases attack damage of factory units. So this is huge, especially if you're doing a lot of fighting. Not only is it going to improve the damage of all your factory units, so all the ones that I just mentioned, which are the heavy hitters to begin with, and they're all kind of souped up troops versus the barracks. So it's going to make them more effective, but it's also going to have this power that disables defender producing buildings once a day. Range of 10, which is cool. The only way that is not as effective is if they have all of their defender producing buildings kind of spread out. Maybe there's like a small little cluster that's hurting you. So it's tough. It's very strategic. If you're not really good at managing that on the fly, it's not as amazing as you would think. But it's all due to your gameplay. If you can find a way to like maybe use some commandos to take out some of those buildings that are, harder to reach, and then you combine it with this, perfect. And the factory troop damage, which would be the commandos as well, so the commandos would do more damage. So this one, majority of the people use because in the second half of the game, the factory their units are used by far the most. I mean, other than planes and other things, but they're used so much that this is just such a valuable building. All right, let's look at a couple other ones here. So the Statue of Liberty, which I might switch to, and I just noticed that that's different. I like that. Okay, so grants bonus oil once per day. Like I said, oil is very hard to come by. You get it in little bits here, little bits there. If you do wars, I keep saying war, but just multiplayer battles or whatever. That's usually the quickest way and best way to get it. Even though you can produce it yourself, it does take a while. And increases attack damage of units from airstrip. That's huge. So we're going to go to the airstrip in a second, but right now I do have an extra little boost. So airplane damage boost plus 22% if I were to use this. And it's 550 oil per day. So that was the part that I was concerned, because in a previous age, I think it was 250. And I was worried that it wasn't going to change depending on your age, but it does. Because 250 is not that much, 250 per day. Yeah, it's like 1,000 and 4 days. That's still not a lot of oil when like a heavy tank is like 800. But I noticed that this is 550. I'm pretty sure that there is something in the university that helps with some of the wonders. So I'll have to keep an eye on, look at that. The plus 22% for airplane is huge, because I am going to start focusing on my airplanes. I've been trying to level up. So let's go to the airstrip, just so you can take a quick look. Once again, my stuff is not leveled up at all. But I have a triplane airship, capacity of 3. I'm upgrading my other one, so I'll have four slots. Let's look on here. So my Triplane Mk3 is 283, but against defenders is 5,664. You can see the training cost is 320, so they're not cheap, and the hit points are decent. They'll stay alive for a little bit, but this one you don't want to take just one plane. I mean, they'll just get knocked out and then you can't do anything. Adding that 22% to as is right now, I think 10% would be, would that be 28? Yeah. So another 28 be like 56. So it'd be over 300. So it'd be like 315 or 320 if I, switched over to the to that. That's not bad at all. And then I think I have another thing training to increase the attack even more. But the planes are awesome. Don't have to worry about infantry. Don't have to worry about tanks. Completely changes the game. Definitely very important. So let's go back here. Now we have the Eiffel Tower, which is also very interesting. And I think I was using this one for a while when I wasn't playing that much. Look, so it provides a peace treaty once a week. Peace treaties are times where nobody can attack you, and they're set time. Increase vault food and gold storage by a large amount. Now that one right there, I wish it also said oil. That would be the important part. But still, I don't know why this looks... Oh, it's in green. I was going to say, I don't know why this looks like way higher than what I remember it being before. Because plus 220,000 of either one, that's a lot. Wow. Okay. Peace treaty length is 15 hours. Peace treaty cooldown is 7 days. So it's like once a week you'd be able to use that. So this is for people that play a lot more casually. It could also be economy. People that are more focused on their economy. Because once you put your food in the vault for 24 hours, you can't take it out. But if you get attacked, they cannot steal that. That is 100% secure. So I'm just going to go to my vault, which is not super leveled up, but I want to see what that would be plus the 220. I know this video is getting kind of long, but that's fine. All right, so see, so deposit, I could do 656, 656, add another 2 something. So it'd be like almost 880. Wow. So I could stash like 880 in gold or food, knowing I have an upgrade to do soon, and then take it out and use it. Like right now, I might actually do that for the food. Ever since I started increasing what you get for hunting and gathering and things like that, and I've been playing more, I haven't been getting attacked as much. It's so quick to accumulate goods. So yeah, who knew? The more you play, the more goods you get, right? And you get attacked less, so that's good. All right, so let's go back over here. Let's look at the Kremlin, which is also very interesting, and the art on this is amazing. All right, so increases health with nearby walls and bastions. Okay, that's good. Defenders will spawn from any of your farms destroyed in battle. That's even better. So a player like me, I have not focused on my walls as much as I should have. I think my walls are only level 8 on average. If I can get them all to 9, I might just leave it there. They're just so expensive, with how many walls you have, and you have to upgrade them one wall at a time. It's kind of ridiculous. Uh, but this would be for the lazy person, the person that doesn't want to spend all that time and money on the walls. You can instantly add another 20% to the ones that are close to this building here. So that's huge. So they would almost be like a level 8 would be almost like a level 10, which is really nice. And then defenders will spawn from any of your farms destroyed in battle. Partisan defenders, it says 2. So 2 defenders will come out. I can't tell from the photo, but I think what is going to come out are infantry units that are whatever infantry level you have for your barracks per farm. In this stage of the game, I think I have maybe, it's either 6 or 8 farms. So that's not bad. You know, then you have extra defenders jumping out. So this is an interesting one. This is a very interesting one. If you've ever fought against somebody who has a Kremlin and you forget that defenders are going to spawn, you're going to be so busy stealing other loot with like just a couple units, because you don't go stealing farms and things like that with like your whole army. You usually send a few troops to just kind of chip away at that and send everybody else to do everything else. You can forget that, oh, I just destroyed this and now I have a couple defenders popping out trying to attack me. So it's interesting. It's a very interesting one. I think out of all of these, the Brandenburg Gate is by far the most used. I would say the Kremlin is probably the second that's most used, even though it's a defensive wonder. And then possibly the Statue of Liberty would be third. And then Eiffel Tower, I think, is the one you see the least of. But they're all really good. Like I said, you just got to know what play style you prefer. Now I'm going to go to the last one. Hopefully this video is not running too long, and hopefully you're still around. But let's take a look at the Pentagon. And there are more wonders after this. I just haven't got to the next age, and I can kind of show you them in a little bit. But we won't go into detail, just so you can see the artwork. All right, so airstrips. Airstrip troops train 20% faster. That's really nice. You know, obviously if you're trying to do planes and things like that. This one might actually go really well with the Statue of Liberty, and they're both American buildings. That's actually pretty smart, pretty interesting that they put those together. All right, and you can assign an extra general to the Pentagon for defense. That's really cool. So not only does it have a ton of hit points, it makes your airplanes, you know, train quicker. You can put a general there as a defender. So obviously when the general is defending there, you can't send the general to battle. But most people will have 5 or 6 or 7 different generals at any given moment. So putting your spare one on here to help you out on defense, huge, huge. So what does this say? First wave time, 3 seconds. I'm not even sure what the wave time is, but I guess you got to wait 3 seconds before Bjorn comes out, or your general, I'm guessing. General last stand health 70%. Huh. So I don't know what that means either. Does he come out at 70% health? It's possible. Okay. Either way, the Pentagon's really cool. I think I got it for the... I don't even know I got it because I didn't even remember what this did. I did this so long ago. I think at the time I was doing it for the airstrip troops because I was trying to use the planes because there was, you know, anything that's new and shiny you kind of want to use. So I was using this to help me with the planes, and then the general portion of it was very interesting to me. But now that I'm looking at it, I wonder if there's one that's going to be better for me. All right, so let's replace that. Let's look at the Sydney Opera House. This one provides an additional citizen, which is interesting. If you're very big on economy, very big on learning new skills and that kind of progression in the game, this could be a very interesting one because you'd have an extra citizen over everybody else. But if you have the Chinese also give you an additional citizen. So if you were to do those 2 things, you'd have 2 more citizens than anybody else to build things, which could be beneficial. especially later in the game when you're really trying to plug away with the university, or you're trying to clear the forest or anything. Having two more citizens is really good. Having one is usually does help you. You know, gives you a spare one, so if you ever want to work on walls or do a little bunny hunting, because it stinks when you have zero available and you can't do anything. Um, oh, the second thing, sorry, I didn't read the second thing. Expeditions return 20% faster. So I don't do a lot of expeditions. It's something that I do want to look at a little bit further. I don't like that your, what's it called? Your workers are the ones that go on the ship. So that's another, that makes sense. If they're giving you an extra citizen, that's one less citizen that you're going to be losing when you send them on the ship. Totally makes sense. But they return 20% faster, which is good because then you'll be out with your citizens there less time. Great. Um, but it's one of those things that I didn't spend a lot of time with. So if expeditions, sorry, are not important to you and you're not really struggling with having enough citizens, this might not be for you. But once again, this would be for an economy-driven nation. You really want to, have more things building, and you want to send expeditions to get all those goods that you can get. This is actually a really good one. Not if you're going to be battling all the time or need good defenses. Let's go to the Space Needle, which looks super cool. Reduces university skill research time by 10%. That alone is huge. I was trying to remember. I think it's the Notre Dame is the one that reduces upgrade costs for training or training time or something like that, and then it also reduces library skill research costs, I believe. This one reduces the university skill research time by 10%. That's awesome. So if you actually had both of them, you'd be really good with your economy. That's a really good one because the university, very expensive. It also uses your workers, your citizens. So you're going to be out citizens. So reducing 10%, awesome. In the university itself, there are things that you can train on that will reduce the skill research time as well. So that's really cool. So you can do both and maybe get this up to maybe 20% or so. That really makes a big difference. It says activate to reset all other wonder cooldowns once per week. That's awesome too. So this means that any of your other wonders that have cooldown times where they say like you can only do this once a day or you can only do this once a week or you can only do this whatever, this can reset all of that. So it'll basically start a brand new day as soon as you click the reset. So if I look at this correctly, you could do the ones that say once per day. You might be able to do those twice, if I'm reading this correctly. If you time it correctly, that's pretty interesting. So once again, this is a economy-driven one. If your wonders do anything defensive that's on a clock, it might actually help your defensive buildings as well. Yeah, really cool. United Nations is the last one. So collect 3 national trade goods once per day. So that's really good. And then deploys a peacekeeping force when destroyed on defense. So once again, I think it was the Angkor Wat that gave you 7 national trade goods per day. This gives you another 3. So see how if you combine some of the nations with the wonders and then pair another wonder that kind of works well, you can really start ramping up. So once again, this is economy driven. Deploys a peacekeeping force when destroyed on defense. So it will spawn some units when it gets destroyed, which is good. I don't remember how many. I think it was like 3, 4, or 5, somewhere in that range. I don't think it was like a massive squad. But either way, they're going to have some troops come out. So this one's also economy, basically. And then slightly defensive with the peacekeeping force, which is nice. Just like the Pentagon has the general that comes out, this guy's going to have some troops come out there. So none of these were super offense. None of these are really going to help you uh, on offense. They're a little bit more economy and a little bit more, what's it called? Defensive. Oops, I want to chop the tree down. Come here, fox. So yeah, so I'm sorry the video ran a little long. Quick notes. The wonders that are going to be really good at early in the game might be more economy based, reducing time, reducing cost on things. Um, those are probably going to be the most valuable ones early on in the game. They might be the most valuable ones way at the end of the game too, where you're already really good at battling. Your defenses are amazing regardless, and what's it called? You're trying to do all these upgrades that are taking forever. You just want to be self-sustaining. Maybe. I think the majority of the people that play this game are focused on the fighting and becoming better at fighting in the wars and things like that. So yeah, so I was going to say right at the beginning, the economy is going to be huge because you're going to be struggling to grow your civilization if you don't really have much of an economy. Once you start getting a lot of troops, you are going to look at for more offensive stuff and defensive stuff. But it really depends on your play style. Yeah, this is tough. This is one of those where I do recommend you take notes or just write down stuff so you can identify what kind of a player am I? Like, how often am I playing? Am I gathering and hunting and upgrading ways to get more income right from here? Or am I just looting all the time and I'd rather loot more from the enemy? Um, you know, and how often am I playing? Does it make sense for me to just kind of make income while I'm not playing, kind of thing? Uh, I think the wonders are just such an amazing part of the game. Everybody's gonna play slightly different. Everybody's gonna have slightly different needs, and and they do work well if you pair them together. Have some that emphasize something that's already, you're already doing well. The other thing is you don't know how effective a wonder is going to be until you use it for a while. So one last thing here. So see how I hit per place? At this point where I'm in the game, it's 600 crowns to replace, which is a lot, but it's not like ridiculous. The problem is at the beginning of the game, you're probably going to have a certain type of wonders, and later in the game, when you do become a lot stronger, your strategy might shift, and you may be like, oh no, I got to replace like two of these, and now I'm looking at 1200. So there is a training in the library, I believe. I'm trying to remember what it's called. It's like Empires or something started with an E. That gives you a big discount on the switch of the on switching your or replacing your wonders. If I remember correctly, I think I was doing it in the last video. It's a 33% discount. So instead of 600, you're dropping down to about two something. If you can't wait, do what you need to do. If you can, try to level all the way up to that, which obviously is expensive. But once you get there, replacing your wonders, I mean, two something, no brainer. I mean, you could swap them like once every month or something like that, and you'd have no issue. There's one more thing I wanted to look at right here with the wonders. So there's a lot more wonders over here. I'm just going to talk about it by name only. We're not going to click into them, but when the space age, which is the next stage to where I'm right now, there's World Fair Unisphere, Very Large Array, Space Shuttle, Lotus Temple. I've looked at them a little bit. They're really, really cool what they do. And there's a lot of stuff in the libraries that will help these things individually, which is really cool. Then Information Age, which is the age after that. Might be two after that. I think they do them like every other age, something like that. Burj Al Arab, Stadium Australia, Taipei 101, Hermitage Museum. Really, 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 really cool. So this went on very long. If you have any questions about like what you're using versus what maybe you should be using, feel free to post it below. I know there's so many different like options. I feel like I missed one now that I'm thinking about it. Did I? Where is it? Why do I feel like I missed? Oh, did I even do this one? I did not do this one. I was like, I don't remember talking about that. So Notre Dame, sorry, really quickly, reduces the cost of library technologies and unit upgrades. Huge, especially at the beginning of the game where you're really trying to get a good pace of upgrading things. Because the first like couple books in the or a couple chapters, sorry, in the library are all about gradual increases, boosts that are going to help you for the rest of the game. Quality of life type stuff. You know, here's an extra tree. Here's extra income for this. Here's extra for that. Those first couple chapters are so important because they just grow your city. They grow in every aspect. Once you get further in the library, it's more specific benefits versus the beginning. It's general benefits. You can get more fruit trees. You can get more money from the roads. You can have more roads. You can have more walls. You might be able to get another tower, like different things like that that you 100% need. Those first two chapters in the library are crucial. After that, you can pick and choose. You might end up maxing out everything just because everything's useful, but you can kind of do it at your own pace. But the beginning is super, super important. So it reduces. So I have it at 11% and 11% on both. I think I have a slight boost from something else. Cannot be attacked is the other cool thing. So Notre Dame, I think I'm going to keep it. I'm still debating. I think I might change it. If I do keep it, I'm going to move it someplace else because it cannot be attacked. So you can actually put it as a barrier, and then the opposing army has to go around it. So if you put some nice walls or whatever, you know. The last thing is once a day you may collect bonus gold. So 40,000 is really not that much. But once again, you magnify that 10 times over, 400,000. Not bad. Not bad at all. But I like Notre Dame because of the cost reduction of the library, because the library gets very expensive and pretty good hit points too. All right. Colosseum. Like this is the one that I think I'm going to switch to because I am battling so much more. Provides the strength of gladiator, power in combat once a day, increases the effectiveness of your troops, produces defenders when you are attacked. Really cool. So, produces defenders. So the defender right now is Fusilier, but once I upgrade my, what is it called? Hold on, let me look at it real quick. My garrison, sorry. Once I upgrade my garrison, that will also upgrade the troops that come out. So right now they're pretty low level. 8 defenders per wave. Maximum defenders 8. So I'm guessing there's only one wave comes out. I don't know. Strength of gladiator once per day. I think it's like I should know this, but it's like a 15% boost, something like that. Strength to all your troops, which is not attack power, it's your defense. So your troops will stay alive longer. It might be both. It might actually be it might actually be a slight attack boost and defense boost for your people on attack. So this is a really good one if you're attacking a lot. Plus, it gives you the benefit on defense with some troop spawning, which is really nice. Might switch to this. This is one that a lot of people do use really early in the game. I know back when the hit points for the Colosseum were tiny, and they would just get destroyed immediately, and it wasn't really useful on defense. But there are places in the university where you can increase the hit points and make pretty much all of these wonders survive a lot longer, which is really nice because I know there used to be issues with, oh, I like these wonders, but if they get destroyed immediately, there's no benefit. You know, the defensive ones. But they know what they're doing. you know, they update the game and add different ways to help you out. So, all right, Terracotta Army is another very interesting one. Allows you to summon the Terracotta Army once a day. Increases the health of nearby castles and barracks. So, trying to remember. I was just reading this yesterday. I think they give you 10 archer units and 10 infantry units, whatever level you are at the current time. Not bad. It's 20 units when you're fighting. So not on defense, but when you go out and fight. Not bad. Also increases the health of nearby castles and barracks. So if you position it near those two things, they get an additional 20% health. The castle shoots, and the barracks don't shoot, but I guess it'll keep them alive a little longer to yeah. So this one's pretty good. It's not as good as the other one, because the other one increases the health and power of your attackers, versus this one gives you 10. But they're both once a day. They're very close. I would still go for the Colosseum, because the Terracotta Army is only infantry and archers. So if they're not really what you use the most, it's not really going to help you too much. Maybe a small little skirmish on the side, but Colosseum I think is better and stronger for that purpose. Then you have the Forbidden City. Acts as a second town center during combat, making it harder for your opponent to earn a victory. Once a day, you may collect bonus food. So it looks like it does hold some food and some gold, which is nice. And then bonus food per day is 40,000, which is not that much. Same, I think, as Notre Dame. I think was something like 40,000 in gold. So not bad. This is one that if you're more worried about losing your stars, your victory stars, which lowers your rank of your city, and it's all right. If you don't like getting demolished all the time and getting losses left and right, this could help you if you place it, you know, pretty far from your town center, because they'd have to destroy both to get that victory. This was actually very useful very early in the game, because it looked very similar to the town center of pretty much all the Asian ones. So a lot of times people would make a mistake. When you get much further in the game, it doesn't really look like any of the buildings, so they can automatically tell that this is not a town center, and they know exactly what it is. The bonus food, not too helpful. Like I said, the gold is much more helpful. But either way, it's a good option, maybe earlier in the game. So sorry about that. I didn't realize it was going to take that long. Probably should split it into 2 videos. But yeah, any questions that you have, or if you're like, hey, I'm using these 2 or 3 and I'm looking to get one other one, like which one do you recommend? Anything. Always happy to chat, but just leave comments below or any of your questions, okay? Thanks for watching.